Okay, for the final part of this review, we're going to finish up with equations of lines. So write an equation for a line that passes through the following points. In order to write the equation, we need to have three things. Well, we need two things, and then we finally can write the equation. Two things we need are the slope and the y-intercept. Then we need to write the equation from that. So in order to get the slope, I need to find the slope, x1, y1, x2, y2, using the slope equation, which is y2, negative 3, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, negative 1, minus x1, which is 2. And negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2. So we have a slope of 2. So I can type that or plot that in over here. I have y equals 3x, 2x. It's a 2. Y equals 2x. The b value, if one of the 2 points that I have is a y-intercept, which neither of them are because it would be 0 comma something, then I can just say what the y-intercept is. If it's not, like in this case, I need to find out what it is. So I'm going to plug in all the information that I know. I have an xy point. I have 2 of them. I can choose one of them. So let's choose the first one, 2 comma 3. So the y is 3, the x is 2, what I'm looking for is b, and I just found what m was, the slope. So now I've got 3 is equal to 4 plus b, subtract 4 from both sides, and I end up with b being equal to negative 1. So b is equal to negative 1, which means that I have a negative 1 here at the end of my equation, and there's the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points. Doing the same work for the next one, x1, y1, x2, y2. I want to find the slope. So I'm going to do y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is 3, divided by x2, which is 6, minus x1, which is 4. We had 4 minus 3, that's a 1. 6 minus 4, that's a 2. So I have a slope of 1/2. Neither one of those points are a y-intercept, so I'm going to use the y equals mx plus b equation. I'm looking for the plus b, so that's not something I'm going to plug in, but everything else I can plug in. I have an xy point of 4 comma 3, so I'm going to choose that one. You could choose 6 comma 4, and that would be fine. We're going to choose 4 comma 3. So the y is a 3. I had a slope of 1/2, and the x is a 4. So I have 3 is equal to half of 4, which is 2, plus b, subtract 2, I end up with b being equal to 1. So then the last part is just write the equation. I've got y equals mx plus b. I want to leave the y and the x the same because that's the most general equation, but the equation has a slope of 1/2 and goes through a y-intercept of 1. On number 7, we take a look at we're writing an equation of a line that passes through another point, but it's parallel to 2x plus y equals 5. Parallel means that it has the same exact slope. So I have to find the slope of this equation, and in order to do that, the fastest way for me is to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and I get y is equal to 5 minus 2x, or you could put negative 2x plus 5, and that'd be fine. What I'm looking for is the slope. Well, here's the slope. The slope is negative 2. And so when I do the 3 parts that I need of this equation, my slope is negative 2. I did all the work for that over here on the right-hand side. When they told me that it was parallel, I just needed to find the same exact slope. Now it passes through 3 comma negative 2. That is still not a y-intercept, so I need to go through and do the work with y equals mx plus b. I've got an xy point, so it's negative 2. I had the slope was negative 2, and x is 3. So negative 2 is equal to negative 6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides, and I get 4 is equal to b. So now I'm just writing the y equals mx plus b equation. Plugging in the slope, which is negative 2, and the y-intercept, which is a positive 4. There's my final equation. Same idea for the bottom one. Write an equation of a line, but this time it's perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 7. Well, it's already slope-intercept form, so I can pull the slope out of there, but perpendicular means that I want it to be the opposite and reciprocal. So when I say that the slope of this line is 2, the slope of my line is actually going to be the opposite of that, which is negative. And that 2, if I flipped it over, made the reciprocal, it actually becomes 1/2, because I could write this as 2 over 1, and then that flips over to give me 1/2. The next part that I'm looking for is what b is. Again, they didn't give me a y-intercept, so I'm going to use x and y. Y equals mx plus b. The y is equal to 3. The slope we just found to be negative 1/2. The x is 4. So I get 3 equals half of 4 is 2, so negative half of 4 is negative 2. Add 2 to both sides. 3 plus 2 gives me 5, and b is equal to 5. Writing the equation, y equals mx plus b, with filling in just the slope, negative 1/2, and then the y-intercept. I end up with y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5 for a line that's perpendicular to the one they gave us and going through the point 4, 3. This is the end of the reviews. Make sure that you go through, ask questions about the problems that you don't know, and then after you've asked questions, want to make sure that you're ready for the test by going through any of these other example problems.